The latest Closing the Gap report has now been tabled in Parliament. That happened today. But 16 years on from the Stolen Generations apology, only 4 of 19 socio-economic outcomes for Indigenous Australians are on track. 4 have gone backwards.
What should give us pause is that outcomes have worsened for 4 critical targets: children's early development, rates of children in out-of-home care, rates of adult imprisonment, and tragically suicide.
In response, the government will establish a National Commissioner for Indigenous Youth. It will also create a $700 million scheme to create 3,000 jobs over 3 years.
The new program will be grounded in self-determination. Communities will decide what jobs are created across various sectors like aged care, childcare, hospitality, tourism, horticulture and town maintenance.
Catherine Liddle is an Arunta and Luritja woman and is the CEO of SNAICC, the National Voice for Our Children. Catherine, we still seem unable to close the gap of disadvantage. What's just one step you would like to see taken tomorrow?
Oh, look, I think, for us, obviously, as SNAICC, when we look at the Closing the Gap statistics and when we look at the Closing the Gap story, we understand that it all starts with children. I think today's announcement about standing up a National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Children and Families Commissioner is a massive step forward. This is an absolute game changer. This is the mechanism that can actually look at where we're seeing problems with our children, what's causing those problems, how we respond to those problems and how we make sure those problems disappear so that all children have the right to a healthy childhood. This is an absolute game changer. And again, when you look at those targets that are off track, all of them directly relate to how children are nurtured in their early years.
Catherine, Peter Dutton's push for a new Royal Commission into child sexual abuse in Indigenous communities has been criticised as political point scoring. Is a Royal Commission necessary?
No, look, and that's why the child protection sector has come out en masse to respond to that, and they've done it every single time that call has been made. A Royal Commission, in essence, if you're not familiar with those processes, a Royal Commission is an investigation. Basically, it keeps lawyers busy, whereas a National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Children's Commissioner is an actual tool that hits the ground fast, talks to children and responds to their needs and makes the changes that need to happen. A Royal Commission makes recommendations significantly different and nowhere near as powerful.
It's now been almost 4 months to the day since the failed voice referendum. Is that having any effect that you can see on this effort to close the gap?
I think it has had more of an impact actually on Aboriginal people. I think most of us are still feeling that impact. I think people are still feeling very raw. You know, the stats are in now which shows that the vast majority of Aboriginal people supported a voice. I think a lot of people still feel very hurt and are looking for hope and they're looking for opportunities. And so today's announcement that says, you know what, one of the biggest problems that we've had in accountability around children has now just been solved. I mean, that is a massive breakthrough. So we hope that we can see more of those sorts of transformational changes take place. And again, when we look at shared decision-making, because the voice was rooted in things like shared decision-making, this is the first major blockage that we've been able to remove under the national agreement, which has it's taken 3 years to unblock it, but we've done it. And we've done it by working with governments to say, well, this is what it looks like, this is how it could be, and this is the difference when you use evidence to change.
Catherine, we really appreciate your time this evening. Thank you.
Pleasure.